good time zone. And a happy birthday to all of those around the world. Felt like the mic was a bit weird there, but hopefully it's fine. We're back with day 2 of Medjehtiqedti Bound. Okay, my mic's definitely not fine, actually. Hold on. Let's see, how's that? Did that fix anything? I replugged it in. Classic. I'll keep monitoring it for a bit. But we're back. Maybe a slightly shorter stream today. Really just depends on how long this takes. But yeah, I probably should be responsible and cut it a bit short. It's always hard to plan out these though, because like, you know, I've been doing this for a while. I know the general gist of length of time, 3 levels, but like sometimes they run long, sometimes they're super short. So it's always a bit of a gamble. Chobam.
Doctor. Yes, some things never change.
So let's just get into it. No point of order anyway. Last time, on Medjehtiqedti Bound, Medjehtiqedti was bound for Minos, the capital Athenius. There on a diplomatic mission as ambassador of Sargon to heal relations between the two countries after centuries of Sargonian aggression. And, as part of that, return an artifact of Caracera, the hero and founder of Minos. Joining her is the Beast Lord Mio. They use a lot of the word beast aristocrat nowadays, and I don't know if that is just like a new trend, like translation choice, or what's. And they've always kind of used aristocrat, but I feel like they use it a lot more nowadays than beast lord. Same thing. But Medjehtiqedti gets to Athenius and breaks off from the rest of the diplomatic mission in order to go and explore and visit the first temple, which is being rebuilt. First temple of Karasera. It was destroyed by the Sargonians. It's being rebuilt. It's being rebuilt. I guess publicly, like it's in the sense that there's not a company building it. You could, like, the government's not even technically rebuilding it. The people themselves just come and go as they please to help rebuild it. Truly the pinnacle of democracy. But there's a fight going on between the Masons and the farmers. Because to rebuild the temple, they can't move the city, but if they don't move the city, then the farms won't produce enough crops. So Medjehtiqedti helps out in solving that issue, and she's just like, remove the top of the mountain, and you'll get stone and sunlight. Which is the same thought that Paulus had. Paulus being the one who proposed rebuilding the temple in the first place. While that's all happening, the rest of the diplomatic mission meets with the city's Astanomos, which is a new government position. It's a secular position as opposed to the priesthood, which I guess usually runs most of the country. Lydia is her name. And she's very much a new blood who's coming in and wants to modernize the country, secularize the country. And is trying to take power from the priesthood, which might make her a villain in this. We'll see. The rest of the diplomatic mission is waiting for this ceremony to take place for their arrival, which will include this play. These other two representatives from other cities show up as part of this. And at the same time, we also have Lena, perfumer, who has recently established a Rhode Island branch office in the city, returning to Minos after apparently being exiled for getting infected. Exiled not by the government, but by her family, or maybe a bit of a self-exile. But apparently she's found out her family has, like, gone bankrupt and sold off all the land and, like, are no longer around, pretty much. And she's like, oh, well, that sucks for them, I guess. And we also have a character, Xanthos, whom is a ferryman, infected, teaching this other guy named... I forget his name. Also infected. Xanthos is potentially a former soldier who fought against the Sargonians, or at least knew a guy who was that, his friend, who has passed away. That's pretty much all that happened. A lot of just setting things up. What's it going to lead to? I really don't know. Some kind of trouble is going to start. riddle without answer. It lies on the road and dreams everywhere. It questions you, wakes you, makes you know who you are, and teaches you that beautiful dreams are no more than dreams. We did E2 her. I don't think we actually used her second skill yesterday, so we'll keep with that. This is the first time you've shown since a young acolyte of yours glared at me last week. It's not easy managing Endymion Temple and the rebuilding of the first temple at the same time. Folia is just worried that I'm overworked. She knows we've been friends since our priest school days. Which made it all the harder to accept that I brought you trouble as soon as I got back, I guess. Alice. I knew you were both in trouble when you showed up at Endymion Temple. To have your dream interpreted as an ordinary Minoan instead of using the priestess passage 6 months ago. In most cases, divine revelation can be classified into certain common categories, whether it came in the form of dreams or a sudden vision. I know. We learned from them by heart at school, so ordinary priests without special talents could guide those who received revelations. But the vision you brought was not found in any classical tale. I had no doubt that it was a powerful revelation, which made me very uneasy. Don't worry, we'll find a way. You shouldn't have quit the priesthood. You might have been able to find help. And hide my condition. Continuing to be the legendary goddess of victory on the border. I didn't want to complicate things, even if another has taken up the title. Besides, the heroes came a long way to call me back. I had to be honest with myself. So she's no longer a priest. Okay. That might have been in her files, but I don't have her, so I've never read anything about her. Except, like, I think she had a, like, vignette of, years and years ago. I think that's the only thing. Looks like Rhodes Island has treated you well. Of course. Did I ever tell you that I founded a Minoan League on Rhodes Island? Are there so many Minoans who left homes to seek treatment? There are plenty, although Arato and Vulcan are only true Minoans in the League. The others are in it because they have a spiritual fascination with our country. I'll introduce them when we have a chance. They're all full of heroic spirit, with great passion for poetry, art, and brewing. So you founded a drinking league. That's one way to put it. It's not quite the same as having you around, though. You may not hold drink particularly well, but no one in our year brewed better than you. I remember how you tied up your sleeves and pounded the grapes like a seasoned winemaker at the intercollegiate conference. You looked amazing. I see you have a craving. What happened to the formula I gave you? Lost it when I went to Akroti. I finally escaped my torment when my Sarkaz bodyguard gave me the recipe for the secret brew of Kazdal. I never worried you would have trouble making friends. First the Sarkaz bodyguard, now the Sargonian ambassador. You heard about the fruit farmers and the craftsmen. TT can be trusted. I don't doubt Kyria's Masayer's cleverness, or her friendly outlook towards our country, but her position remains sensitive. If it didn't stop you, would you have put her in charge of the play that we already discussed, in addition to the venue of the exchange ceremony? Is it that you trust her too much, or... You're frowning again, Cassandra. I just let myself get a little lazy, having been away from the priesthood for so long. You would never have become a legend in the Borderlands if you were the type to shirk responsibility. I don't mind taking charge of the rebuilding project on your behalf. I just think it's a shame. You're better at dealing with people and the craftsmen trust you. I thought you made the proposals to the people so they would return to heroic tradition and remember the heroic spirit. I did. And that's exactly why it doesn't matter who's in charge. Our people venerate the heroes, but they've gradually forgotten that Minoan prosperity was not only built by a few heroes. The heroes came from the people, from all walks of life. You could always read my mind. I know what you're trying to say, but with rebuilding of the temple entering its final stage, it's even more important than ever to have a supervisor. I think we'll have one soon. What is it? I saw Lydia headed to the temple square. What do you think this Astanomos, who has quietly been at odds with us from the beginning and is trying to take the play out of the priest's hand, is going there for? We meet at last, Your Excellency and Pastor Massaer. And who might you be? I'm Astanomos of Athenius. Call me Lydia. I am overseeing this relic exchange between our two nations. Oh, I'm so sorry, Astanomos. I should have visited you first thing when I got to Athenius. I didn't think... You came to Athenius by the ancient route to follow Caracera's footsteps, didn't you? There is no need to apologize to a Minoan for your love of our epics and our culture. If anything, I should be thanking you for resolving the dispute between the fruit farmers and craftsmen. The rebuilding of the first temple could not have proceeded so smoothly without you. I simply did my part. I believe you've already met Benui. I take it the venue and details of the exchange ceremony have not been confirmed. Correct. Rather than do it behind closed doors in a private room, what do you think about holding the ceremony beneath the statue of Caracera, to be witnessed by her and all of Athenius? You want to hold the exchange ceremony at the first temple square? Yes. You are aware that I brought the most precious treasure of Aryavandabad Museum to be exchanged for the technical data that the Sargonians left behind during the construction of the three pulleys. It's a part of many heroic Minoan stories, and closely linked to Karasera herself. Seeing the completed statue on the square was an awe-inspiring experience. Her brave visage and the relic that I carry complement each other. I understand that the exchange ceremony is supposed to begin with a classical play in accordance with Minoan tradition. What better to do it than the First Temple's new amphitheater? Would that be a problem? Oh, Cassandra from Endymion Temple reminded me that any use of the First Temple should be discussed with her. Cassandra. It's the Astronomos' office's responsibility to lighten the burden on the busy priest by handling trivial matters. I'll communicate with her. I was concerned about the lack of proper supervision in the rebuilding process because of the emulation of ancient methods, which has resulted in significant delays. And I thought it might not be the most dignified of venues. I don't mind. However, all of our problems could be solved if you are officially made the supervisor of the rebuilding project. Say what now? The rebuilding of the temple is entering its final stages. We've reached a point where decisiveness and efficiency are more important than careful planning. I'm sure you already have a fair idea of what is going on, having befriended the craftsmen and solved their issues. Besides, I understand that you received an advanced education in museology in Columbia, including studies in architecture. Putting the finishing touches on the temple and readying it for opening shouldn't be too difficult, should it? I mean, it's true that I designed and supervised the expansion of my museum, but it's not nearly as big as this temple. Besides, is it really appropriate for a Sargonian ambassador to supervise the rebuilding of the first temple? Your request that the exchange ceremony take place at the first temple is ample proof of your understanding of the relic and Minoan culture. I am in full support of your proposal, and I'm sure the ever-considerate Cassandra won't object. But I'm guessing this is Xanthos. I could be wrong, though. I didn't expect the ambassador to be such a polite and humble young lady. Nope, it's Periandros. Failed again. Periandros. Greetings from Corinia, land of trade and merchants, Your Excellency Ambassador Massayer of Sargon. I am here as Corinia's representative to the exchange ceremony, at the Astronomos' request. I happened to overhear your conversation and couldn't help but stop to listen. May I ask you a question? Would you participate in the rebuilding of the first temple if the status were not a concern? Of course. It would be a great honor to participate in the restoration of such a wonderful example of Minoan architecture. Not to mention the knowledge that could be gained. I would be delighted just to hew one piece of marble for it. In that case, why trouble yourself unnecessarily? Trouble myself? What? I have a little suggestion that might solve our present problem. As I see it, the two of you are in full agreement, but for this little issue of Ambassador Massayer's status, it's a sensitive issue, and Ambassador Massayer's concerns are certainly well-founded. On the other hand, the Astronomos here is seeking a capable supervisor who has the support of the people, in order to keep the temple project on track. What better way to solve this than Minos' most ancient process? You mean a vote? A referendum held on the first temple square. Let the citizens of Athenius participating in the rebuilding decide whether to accept Ambassador Massaier's supervision or not. We love democracy. There's Athos. 2 minutes too late.
He really is the Sargonian ambassador. Travesty. The theater of Caesaria's temple was not built to host a diplomatic farce. That Sargonian said she brought a relic in exchange for the technical data from the 3 poleis. I knew that cargo didn't feel like movie figurines. The shape, the weight, and its relevance to Caracera. Could it be? The gall to use stolen Minoan treasure to buy Minoan trust. Not if I have anything to say about it.
Uh-oh.
Let's go! Oh, speaking of which, what was our objective again?
We got a drone spawn.
I'll take the lead. The rest is up to you guys.
Remember, patience makes perfect.
We have our villain. I guess so. Is he our only villain though? I'm not so sure. Questioning statue. Lands when passing over a fountain, absorbing water and preventing it from being healed. How is that statue flying?
Okay, this is awkward, but I'm the only one who knows.
Can I kill it once it lands? I can, okay. Also, is that just Palace? She's got a flower on her head too. Although I guess those Minoans' helmets also have flowers. Maybe that's just a thing in Minos.
Leaning, clear away the crust, returning the marble sculpture to its full glory.
Kind of like it, to be honest.
Mission accomplished.
People just wore like a little flower on their head like that. Great Caracera, gentle and brave, not even the night can hide your splendor. You brought us a wise duo to solve our troubles and help us build our temple. Yanzag, sing the song of your harp. Your laurel is woven into the shape of victory and the moonlight. Oh, sorry, it's not moonlight that shines upon you, but the spotlights that we installed last week. Hearty drinking. Don't drink too much. We're here to vote, remember? You don't want to hurt your head engraving your ostrakhan. No, of course I remember. I'm here to vote for TT. I almost fell when I was working on the statues by myself in the temple. I wouldn't be drinking here right now if TT didn't save me with her arts. You don't believe me? Let me show you. I tripped over the statue's sash that trails on the floor, and then... Whoa! Look out. Several white ribbons fly out of the shadows towards the drunken Forta girl, helping her steady herself. They let her go once they ascertain that she's unharmed, straightening her hair while patting her horns in reproach. Sneed, those ribbons saved my ass just like that. Oh, TT, what are you doing here? Let's get a drink. Does she have ribbon arts? Because her attacks don't seem like that in the game, but... Maybe it's something else that also just lets her use ribbons, question mark? Or maybe she has multiple arts. There's no rule saying you can't, technically. Palace told me that about the girl in the moving crew who's small but strong. She loves drinking and has a tendency to stumble. Seems rare though, yeah. But I didn't expect to see you stumble a dozen times in just 3 days, Kantia. Yeah, thanks, TT. She doesn't hold her drink any better than the average Minoan, which is to say she's supposed to drink in moderation, but has a drunkard's soul. You need a swig, TT? Do I look that nervous? Not in your face, but we've all figured out that your tail doesn't lie. Who's the guy under the scaffold wearing a leaf-shaped ring on his gray tail? Seraphim from the paint crew. He's only motivated when working with big muscular dudes. Nobody believes him when he says he's just lazy. Is he ogling them, or what is he doing? What about the Alafia in the corner, not talking to anyone? Lefteria from the sculpting crew. She always stays out of the sun. I've only talked to her a few times, but I know she's obsessive about her work. That's more than most of us know about her. Most of the craftsmen barely know she exists. I don't know how about the others, TT, but to me, you're one of us. Thanks, Manos. Shouldn't you be comforting your friend? She looks nervous. Comforting people is your job, Cassandra of Endymion Temple. What TD needs now is not the reassurance of a friend, but the support of the Minoans participating in the temple project. Kaya Massier has been reciting her speech silently before those two craftsmen struck up a conversation with her. She subconsciously clutches her tail whenever she trips over a word. Twice she accidentally grabbed her little pet instead, much to its annoyance. You've been observing her carefully. I think you like her. This alone is not enough to prove that she's worthy of trust. I just didn't want to surrender my own judgment to prejudice. It didn't take you long to decide that she was the best choice to supervise the project. I trust your judgment. Tonight, there is no shadow of confusion in those reflected in Karasera's eyes. Everyone has made their decision. They do not need the words of the heroes to guide their way. I have some personal matters to attend to. Excuse me. You're going. The astronomos might take the absence of the supervising priest from the voting as a form of protest. My ostracon is already in the box. Besides, Lydia has no need for such blatant excuses if she wants to pick a bone with the priesthood. If the exchange ceremony takes place at the first temple, then the ceremonial play to honor the heroes. I'll talk to Lydia again. At least get her to defer to the priests when it comes to choosing the play. But that's all for another day. Let's hope tonight's vote goes smoothly. Based on my experiences these past few days, once we've solved the issue at the stone, I believe the structure is essentially complete and ready to welcome visitors. It will be ready to open in a few days once we put on the finishing touches and complete the inspections according to plan. There wouldn't be too much work to do to set up the exchange ceremony on the square. We just need to clear some room for the ceremony itself and have a separate area for logistics. We don't need to exchange anything for the rest of the building. It'll be ready to open once construction is complete. I will create an actionable proposal based on my knowledge and experience overseeing the construction projects. If I am elected, we will work together to complete the wonder that is Karasera's first temple.
Is anyone else running, or is it just like a one vote, yes or no? Such a lively sight. It seems that Kyria's Massayer has made a lot of friends in a short time. It would undoubtedly be a massive boon to the friendship between our two countries, not to mention the temple project if she's elected. What do you want? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm here to attend the ceremony at your invitation. A son of Corinia's merchants just happens to pass by as I'm talking to the Sargonian ambassador, and casually drops a solution to the problem at hand that leads to tonight's vote. Was this all Karasera's will? Why not? Tradition dictates that any Minoan who has received a hero's blessing must visit a temple the following day to declare it before a priest. But you will not seek Hiera Cassandra no matter what, no matter how close the Astronomus' office is to Endymion Temple, will you? You're crossing the line, Hieras Piandros. You know as well as I do that the election of Kyria Massayer will be more than just a feather in your diplomat's cap. Your foremost concern will always be Minos itself, as it is for me. Speak your demands. You can spin all the words you want, but I will not assent before seeing the terms and conditions of the deal. Have patience, honored Astronomos. Reputation is the most important thing in business, and I will bring my business to you personally once the dust has settled. It's not that time yet. In accordance with tradition, please etch yea or nay onto the ostracon you are holding. Then place it in the box face down. We will tally the results once everyone has cast their ostraca. If more than half the votes are in favor, Titi Kyria Massayer shall be named Supervisor of the Temple Project until the ceremony is completed. Begin. The crowd walks up one by one to place their ostraca. There is some distance between the box and the center of the square where Titi is standing, but she can see the smiling faces of the friends she has made these past few days. They nod to Titi as their gazes meet. She cannot see the words on their ostraca, but she knows what vote they cast. Who would have thought that she would be in charge of the construction of a Minoan temple? It would have been a tremendous honor even in Padishah Mala's time. How should she repay the kindness the Athenians have shown her?
Huh, what a joke.
A voice interrupts Titi's thoughts and causes the square to fall silent. Is this the year 1100? I thought maybe we were at the turn of the millennium. The Sargonians had come back to rule us. Oh, okay. I thought it was Anthos, but it was just another guy.
The war is over, Magos.
For you, maybe, not for me. Oh yeah, this is the guy with PTSD. The hated Sargonians continue to hound me in my darkest dreams. I wish I were as forgetful as you, but our heroes tell me in my dreams that I must not forget.
Did a priest interpret that for you?
No, but these recurring dreams are the hero's voice. I alone know their will. I will never smile and work alongside a Sargonian. I will not stand for it, no matter what good things you may say the Sargonian has done. Titi watches as the Minoan passes in front of her without so much as casting a glance her way. He tosses his ostracon and as he passes by the box, hits it aside and falls onto the ground, rolling a few times before settling face up. The ostracon is blank. Titi realizes that his hatred for Sargonians is such that he would not dignify this vote by participating. Her cheeks burn as though she has been slapped in the face, but she trembles as she feels a chill run up her spine. Everything seems to grow distant. It is as though there is a thick screen separating her and the others, and all the sounds around her. In her daze, she seems to perceive Pallas stepping up and the craftsmen casting concerned glances at her. She wants to say that she is fine, that she is alright, that she was prepared for such treatment as an envoy of peace sent by the erstwhile invaders and oppressors. Besides, it's not as though the Minoan has done anything to her. He simply said he did not want to work with her. This is fine. No one can be loved by everyone after all. She wants to smile, that famous bright carefree smile of Medjehtiqedti Bound, which has charmed so many visitors to her museum. But she cannot find the words or her smile. They just all left her standing there? Yeah, I think the last war was like 5 years ago. Which is, of course, after centuries of it, so... The words of the Minoan who tossed the Ostrakhan echo in her mind. She recalls the ferryman who questioned her the day she arrived in Athenius. Oops. The time she spent with the temple craftsmen meant something. They still trust her. But to the countless Minoan strangers out there, she is not TD, the curious lover of Minoan legend. She is a Sargonian. They really just left her there, huh? What the heck, Palace? Did they count the vote? What happened to the vote?
Everyone's gone. The lights are out. How long are you planning to keep yourself curled up here? That Florida girl and the craftsman were worried sick about you. What are you gonna do? Tell them to go on holiday while you fix a temple overnight with your hands and ribbons? That'll make things square, will it? I've been circling your feet and winking at you for ages. It never occurred to you to look down? Never noticed that something wasn't quite right? Did you notice that a-hole deputy excusing himself from the voting ceremony and distancing himself from the whole thing? Did you notice the words ulterior motives written all over that astronomos? No. You just couldn't resist jumping into the grave that's been dug just for you. Now, look where it's gotten you. Really? Still crying over that? I can't even tell you how many times I've seen it in the City of Gold, where licking boots and stamping on faces is as much a part of the life of the everyday life as eating and shitting. Besides, I doubt you're crying for the people who used you. Told you when you got the Potty Shaw's assignment, or I told you when you got the Potty Shaw's assignment that it wasn't gonna be a pleasant vacation. The scars of history that run deep, the Minoans who are still recovering from the pain. In your position as the ambassador of Sargon, all serve to remind you that it's not just an exchange of relics that you have to deal with.
I'm guessing the vote failed, is what I imagine. The proud creature tries to catch a glimpse of the young feline's face, in a rare show of concern, but her head is bowed too low for it to see. Mio sighs and pokes Titi's hand with its head, cuddling around her and gestures for her to pet it.
Furry makes one happy, your words.
Furry makes one happy.
I give you special permission to stroke my tail, fluff the hair on my back, or wipe your tears on either. Actually, I take back the last one. I hate getting wet. Why did I even pick a troublemaking little thing like you? Now I'm on consolation duty.
If I'm really so fragile, you wouldn't have picked me when you left the Grand Bazaar, would you?
Just this one time to Lift your mood. Don't you dare get carried away.
Thanks, Mio.
Feeling better?
Yes, some people voted for me. It means they trust and have hopes for me. Manos called me one of them. People don't always get along, even in the same family. And I am in a country that was deeply hurt by Sargon in the past. I am not a hero of legend, and I cannot miraculously solve everything with a song, a poem, or a speech. What I can do is get Karasera's first temple completed as soon as possible, and return to the Minoans, to Karasera, the things that belong to Minos.
Moonlight shines upon Karasera's complexion. Wearing a laurel wreath with her hand on her harp, she gazes into the infinite distance. Titi stands beneath the marble statue, bathing in the same silent moonlight as Karasera. She closes her eyes and makes a wish.
Do another round of checks. Perfect to us is but a standard to reach.
Misstep. Burdens too heavy to bear have a tendency to drop when you can at least afford to bear them. Yeah, I don't think her attack is like a sand thing. I have to see with this skill, because this skill... I don't know if there's any bandages. Well, let's see. Does any of her stuff have bandages? Or ribbons, I guess.
And so, Karasera, the singer of epics, the gentlest hero of Agamem, hung her harp upon the branches of the laurel tree. Its body made from the finest furs atop Mount Himnoi, its strings made from the bravest bird and beast that roam the Agnes plains. When it played, all things in the land of heroes sang together, riding upon the winds in freedom. No wonder you came up with the idea of holding the exchange ceremony on the temple square when you saw the completed statue of Karasera. You brought Karasera's true harp, the one that used to be displayed in the first temple of Old Athenius. Yes. Legend has it that Karasera was inspired to carve a massive harp from mountain rocks and firs after hearing the mountains tell their stories beneath Mount Himnoi. It was a blessed harp that only sang on important occasions, or when they played by a great hero like Karasera, offering a song that touches the people's hearts.
Yeah, that reminds me, actually, they mentioned the mountain. One of the videos they released for the event, which was like telling the backstory of Minos' history, I believe, also talked about the mountain talking, which makes me think that maybe Karasera was talking to a Baronmut. Mount Himnoi might be a Farenmut or something.
The first temple was destroyed when the Sargonians invaded old Athenius. Grieving the tragedy, the harp sang no more, and afterwards went missing. Until Padishah Keri found it in his collection. I don't know how it ended up in Sargon. Perhaps a Sargonian soldier looted it from old Athenius and sold it to the Padishah's ancestor. I don't think anyone alive in Athenius has ever seen the original harp. The only people who would know anything about the harp are a few priests well versed in ancient texts, or orbenders like Cassandra who directly communicate with the heroes. Does it still make a sound? Yes. We performed an inspection on the strings. They're a little aged, but still playing condition. I see. Perhaps the silence of the harp was simply a metaphor, as is often the case in Minoan stories.
Well, where are the ferrymen? We pay these outrageous rents to be by the canal and get fresh fins. The goods are here, Keeper. Finally! Any more delays and we wouldn't be ready for the diplomatic delegation.
Should I unload the goods for you?
Hey, why is the boat docked so far today? People will be falling into the water trying to unload stuff. Bring the boat closer, please, as close to the kitchen as you can.
Okay.
Thanks. Why are you the one delivering today, by the way? It's usually Xanthos who does it.
My apologies. Master Xanthos had business.
Well, it's no problem, as long as the food gets here and the kitchen can get to work. You've been with Xanthos for a few years, haven't you? He must have his reasons for planning it this way. Not concerned at all.
Sorry, Palace. Everyone in the temple has their hands full today. I simply can't free up anyone from the moving crew. I wanted to get the harp into the first temple ahead of time to see how it fits in Karastara's statue. I should have had someone big and strong to help with carrying the harp, though. It's just the two of us. Karastara was not particularly tall according to historical records. People took particular note of the contrast when she stood next to her harp. Maybe I could even do it myself.
Don't do that though, you're gonna break it.
Oof. It's heavy. Is this box full of lead or something?
Well, we entered Artinius by the entrant route, which is pretty rough. We couldn't risk any damage to the relic. I had the museum staff prepare a packaging that's fireproof, waterproof, shockproof, impactproof, which unfortunately had a ton of weight to it. On the other hand, it wouldn't get a scratch on it, even if an earthquake suddenly took a whole house down onto it.
I can see you take great care of the museum and collection.
I went to Columbia to study museology, because I was curious about everything, and ended up working in a museum when I went back to Sargon. But my father died young, and my family's a far cry from its past glory. Honestly, I'm not sure why the Padishah picked me to deal with the diplomatic mission. But it's my job now, and I want to do it right.
Did I ever tell you that you...
Oh, there's the earthquake.
What happened? Everything okay, TT?
Don't worry, the harp's unharmed.
I was asking about you.
Speaking of earthquakes, good thing that relic was well protected. What's all the commotion downstairs?
Looks like a boat rammed straight into the hotel kitchen.
Oh. What the heck? He did say get as close to the kitchen as you can get. Oh, it's over. It's all over. What kind of ferryman are you? Full sails from 5 meters away. On a windy day like this, you knew your boat would go even faster than Hermes the messenger. You wanted the boat as close to the kitchen as possible. Exactly. Oh god, I didn't mean inside the kitchen. Make way, make way. Peace officers already dispersing onlookers. Don't crowd around like this. I need to see what happened. Lycaon. You'll uphold justice, won't you, Grammatius? I just wanted the boat bringing the ingredients closer to the kitchen, but this kid rammed it right into the place. I'm sorry, I don't know how to operate a boat. Who do you think you're fooling? You've been studying with Xanthos at the crossing every day for years.
Theoretical knowledge does not equal practical skill.
Why, you? Enough. I can testify that this man never passed a single chariot racing test back in preschool. Doesn't explain how he didn't see these huge stop sign, does it? The boat ran right through the fence. Didn't see. Has oropathy spread to his perceptual system? Is that why Lena made a home visit the other day? Lycaon. Why do you look like you think I'm gonna die soon? No, no, no. Don't say that, even if it's true. Excuse me, Grammatius. I know the two of you used to be classmates, but you're here as an official. My kitchen has suffered significant damage. Here. This is your coin purse? I'll pay for the damage. Take what you need. It's actively on fire. Is someone gonna put it out?
Who's telling you to pay for me?
You never got a proper job since you left preschool. I know Xanthos takes care of your room and board, but I doubt you have much money saved. Don't worry about it. Spend your money on treatment. Don't forget you still owe me a debate. I'm fine, really. The cuffing. An acute attack. Doctor! I need a doctor over here! It's just the smoke, you idiot. Go get someone to fight the fire, Grammatius.
The fire's getting stronger. Looks like the boat hit the kitchen stove. What's with all the smoke? And we need to get out, away from the smoke, but the harp... The harp's well protected. I see the officers are already organizing people to fight the fire. They should be under control soon. Besides, the stairs are too narrow. The harp would get in the way of other people evacuating. Besides... Are you alright, Palace? You're alright. We need to leave. We can come back when the smoke's gone. Let's go.
Dude, this is a trick. They're gonna steal the harp, aren't they? And by they, I mean Xanthos. A fire? Oh no, my luggage is still in my room! Don't worry, the fire's in the first floor kitchen. It's not gonna spread to the guest rooms upstairs. Just wait for them to put out the fire, and for the smoke to disperse. Stop crowding, clear the area around the door. There's still people coming from upstairs. Another rare Phidia, I see. Sir, now is not the time to go inside.
Feeling better, Palace? I'm fine. I just inhaled some smoke. We should be good to go back to the room in 10 minutes. I'll help you take the harp to the first temple, just in case anything else happens. Thanks. Oh, sorry. It's so crowded here. Hey, Palace, did that guy look familiar to you? Who?
Did you hear it? That kid at the crossing was the one who rammed the boat into the kitchen. He usually looks pretty smart, but I guess he's as dumb as it gets when it comes to piloting a boat. Where was Xanthos? He's the one who usually delivers the goods. Too busy today, maybe. But it's not like him to get an inexperienced apprentice to get into trouble on his own. True.
I remember now. That was Xanthos, or even the ferryman who just ran into me. Xanthos, are you sure? If he had the time to come to the hotel, why would he let an inexperienced apprentice steer the boat and cause an accident? Wait a second. I have a bad feeling about this.
How does Xanthos sneak around? The man is ginormous.
As do I.
Let's go. Time to see what new stories this round of relics has to tell us.
Fear not! Here I come!
Remember, patience makes perfect.
Handmade catapult. Attacks hit 3 times and deal physical splash damage. Aim deviates randomly when immersed. Oh my gosh, she
I'll
died.
charge the weak spot. Relax. It'll be over in an instant.
I won't be afraid.
Oh my gosh.
Doctor, leave the relax. It'll be over in an instant. Is that all we've got? Standing by.
Oh, they have a lock on that stays behind. Interesting. Okay.
Easy does it.
Excuse me. I was trying to use her. Oh my gosh. Deviating
Charge the weak spot.
aiming is
Gas.
actually pretty cool.
Mission accomplished.
The room to the Sargonian ambassador. This is the relic that was stolen a century ago.
The tall Minoan peers at the massive wooden box as he starts the motor on his serrated oar, repurposing a tool that he uses to cross the river to pick the lock open. He carefully lifts the cover of the box. The instrument of Caracera, which should have come home long ago, is safely packed in a dust cover.
Caracera's harp must not be used as a bargaining chip by the Sargonian hypocrites, to be shut away in this pretentious, suffocating box.
Put the harp down, Xanthos.
The people praise you for proposing rebuilding the first temple. As soon as you return to Athenia's palace, I voted in favor myself.
Thank you.
But you should not have cozied up to the Sargonians.
You instructed your apprentice to ram the hotel kitchen and cause a fire, letting you sneak in to steal an artifact of great diplomatic significance to our two countries. It is an ill-advised act. The streets outside the hotel are packed with people. You can't possibly escape with the ARP. They're jumping out the window. This is the 4th floor. That's fine. That's nothing.
We're directly connected to the kitchen. The boat that ran the kitchen wasn't just a distraction. It's his escape. He had this planned. The door will take too much time. How about... you'll give me a ride? Wisdom.
I guess not everyone can jump out of windows. The area is under control, Grammatius. As for the hotel's losses, I'll report the incident to the Astronomus' office per official procedures. As for the damage to the kitchen, I've already settled up with the innkeeper. I see. We'll station someone here to make sure no one's trying to take advantage of the chaos. For instance, what is it? Look up. Academos looks up. A pair of Forta horns, pitch black under the sunlight, like the twin moons, flies over the head of the crowd, their owner landing upon a haystack on the accident boat, before leaping off the boat and fleeing along the river. A few seconds later, a white figure leaps from the window off the end of a silver chain, the black feline's landing is softened by several cloth ribbons surrounding her. Xanthos the ferryman and the Sargonian ambassador? What's that huge thing Xanthos is carrying on his back? Don't tell me. You were right, officer. Someone is trying to take advantage of the chaos. Understood. Cordon the scene and impound that boat. Send someone to follow Kaira Massayer and bring Xanthos into custody. This old tune. The harvest is done. We'll need to your help again packing the apples in crates. Yeah, no problem. You guys helped me a lot with the stone for the temple after all.
Excuse me.
Whoa, whoa. Xanthos, what's the hurry? Is that TD chasing after him?
Hey, Thanos, make way.
Is this a race? Where's the finish line? Go, TD, go! You can't lose to Xanthos when he has so much stuff on his back, right?
No, I can't.
Careful with the apples. Why would your first assumption be, oh yeah, so it's a race, of course.
The Sargonian is persistent, but this is as far as you go.
Xanthos, the river is just ahead. The ARP is out of its waterproof packaging. The water will ruin it.
I don't need a Sargonian to remind me. Not when your people have ruined countless Minoan treasures.
Xanthos! Wait, what's that sound? There's a boat under the pier. He had this carefully planned. It wasn't an impulsive act. No, don't go.
Arts-controlled ribbons fly towards the package on Xanthos' shoulder. The Forta instinctively jumps back, placing the harp at the stern of the ship. The ribbons wind themselves around his arm, helping TD jump onto the boat.
Xanthos, oh, it's swaying beneath my feet. We need to clear the air between us. Let's talk about this on dry land, shall we?
I have nothing to say to a Sargonian.
Let me apologize then.
The two keep their eyes fixed on each other, one at the bow, the other at the stern. Xanthos clutches his oar and starts its motor, while Titi begins to glow with the light of her oranginium arts. Ribbons fly from her clothes, grabbing the harp and pulling it towards the bow. Xanthos cuts the ribbons, only to find that TD has closed the distance with the harp. He runs to the bow, causing the boat to tip violently, throwing TD off balance and interrupting her arts. Both of them reach out desperately. The dust cover of the relic is removed, revealing the legendary lost harp in all its glory. Every Minoan has heard the story of Caracera and her harp, but precious few have seen it with their own eyes. It remains proud and glorious despite the passage of 1,000 years. Sunlight falls on the metallic leaves decorating its pedestal, surrounding it with a gentle glow. The pair fighting over the harp has no time to admire as they watch the harp's trajectory change less than a second before it hits the ground. Oh my god. Wasted. Medjehtiqedti has never thought of herself as lucky. The glory of her noble house had long faded away by her father's generation. Her father was obsessed with literature, while her mother, still clinging to old aristocratic habits, showed little interest in spending time with her daughter. Titi spent most of her free time in her father's library alone. The knowledge she learned there was basic, shallow, but it nevertheless expanded her horizons and instilled in her a strong sense of curiosity for everything. That is why she saved money to pay for her own studies in museology in Colombia. She was excited but nervous when Padishah Kari appointed her to be the ambassador to Sargon. On one hand, she was drawn to the wonders of Minoan culture and the stories of heroes. On the other hand, she was acutely aware of the challenges that the burden of history presented. The joy that she gained from working for the Temple of Craftsmen, the last visage of the fantasy and daydream in her mind, would be shattered in the falling harp in less than a second. Oops. Keep clicking off it by accident. Xanthos was not so arrogant as to think that his plan in taking the harp back from the Sargonian was flawless. He might go to jail or have an Oropathy attacked while carrying out the plan. He did not care that he was risking his life on something that would seem ridiculous to most. To him, the only place where he could find peace was the battle on the border where Ithacos went 5 years ago. There is no point in asking the meaning of anything that has happened since. But the trickery of fate is even more cruel when in the heroic legends, Xanthos thought of many ends for himself, but never this one. The precious harp is about to hit the ground, and there is nothing Xanthos can do about it. Should he be angry, sad, fearful, or simply laugh at his own helplessness? The emotions that fate have impounded have returned into his empty chest. The tall Minoan warrior sees everything flash before his eyes. The breeze of the Delphi Canal brushes against Xanthos' back. It has never felt so cold. He cannot help but tremble. He can see the Sargonian woman's face. It is deathly pale. He knows that his own face is the same. We've arrested Xanthos the ferryman, his apprentice, Lycaon, on charges of robbery, Your Excellency. I sincerely apologize for the damages you've suffered. I know it's not my place to ask, but can the damaged item be... Thank you for your concern, officer. The item that was damaged was a personal effect and not particularly valuable. It was Xanthos the ferryman who ferried me across the river when I first came to Athenius. This was simply a minor misunderstanding. You can send the onlookers on their way. Yes, Your Excellency. If you do not intend to pursue this matter any further, then we will take the two suspects and proceed in accordance with the law. You two, Thank Kyria Masayer for her magnanimity.
You don't know how to steer a boat. Grammatius Academos can testify to that. You could have gotten off easily. Why put yourself in this situation with me, like Aeon?
You instructed me to provide a distraction on the boat because you know I am a poor liar, Master Xanthos. I knew about your plan and took action to help you. I must accept responsibility with you. Besides, I do not think that what you did was unreasonable. A personal effect? As if the officer believed that. She saw your courtesy as a way out, so she wouldn't have to prosecute her own people. The relic that is at the center of the first cultural exchange between Sargon and Minos since the establishment of diplomatic relations was stolen and damaged during its retrieval. This would be more than enough to start a war if it were in Litania or Siracusa. It's not your relic, though. Why would you... You can't really be angry about it.
I checked the harp. The damage was minor, only a crack on the pedestal. It can be easily repaired by filling and painting over the crack. Under normal circumstances, I would have kept it untouched. But these are what we call extenuating. I can fix it so nothing looks out of place for the exchange ceremony in a few days.
Ah. You may be descended from the Sargonian nobility, but you've inherited none of your ancestors' political acumen. The Minoans are entirely at fault here. This is a perfect chance to punish the offenders severely. Establish Sargon's authority and prestige, and... Alright, slow down there.
I know you're proud of your family's military exploits in Minos, Benue Effendi, and to you this is like revisiting old stomping grounds in a sense.
Effendi. Have we heard that name? That name sounds familiar. Maybe I've heard it, like, somewhere else. Effendi. Oh, it's not a name. It means sir. Never mind. I thought that was his family name.
By the times have changed. Adishak Kari appointed us to visit Minos with Kerasera's harp, not to show off Sargonian glory, but to repair the relationship between our two nations. As emissaries of Sargon, our priority is to carry out the exchange ceremony successfully, not our own obsessions and interests. Am I wrong?
Do another round of checks. Perfect to us is but a standard to reach.
Did I just unlock a Gavial module? Fair enough. We've made... earlier when we started, I talked about, like, sometimes it's a gamble of how long levels are going to be. We're already on the third one today. Not even 2 hours in the stream. Convergence. As people come and go, the situation inevitably spins out of control. What more could go out of control at this point? Still gonna try and look at this skillet before we switch on. God, apparently she uses cloth. I wonder if she... So my idea was that maybe Rosie in Enfield, her arts was also controlling cloth. Now that if Medjehtiqedti apparently does that, I guess that is a thing, so it could be true for Rosie. I'm not sure if it's actually a thing, but it is a thing. Snores. They made a sleeping Mio just for this. Scratch his ear. Medjehtiqedti. As if it wasn't enough that you ran off by yourself first thing in the morning. Now you're slamming doors and disturbing my nap. Have you repaired the harp, or have you been enjoying Athenius as much as you forgot about your job? There's no use trying to repair the harp. Give up so soon? You can't fix a tiny crack like that. What were you doing in all those classes you took in Columbia? Finding the crack and painting it over isn't hard, but it's just not the harp that was damaged. It was also your fragile, bleeding heart. It was also Sargon's reputation. What? Karasera's harp was one of the best preserved relics I've ever seen. Wooden instruments are highly sensitive. The slightest blemish on the body could change its sound. That was why we were very careful during the appraisal process and avoided any destructive tests. I've heard it a million times at the museum. The ornaments, string, materials, and lacquer are typical of the Minoan style. Historical records indicate that it would very likely belong to Sarah herself. But something didn't feel right when I was repairing it last night. The wood chips that fell out from the crack indicated the material's mountain firs. The kind that ancient Minoans often use, but something was off with the cross-section texture.
The weapons, the heroes, are made from ancient trees. They'll have some pretty deep textures. No, it didn't look like the natural texture of wood. It was reminiscent of a certain moisture retention technique developed in Sargon. I read it in old books about instrument making. The Minoan plants are rich in moisture, while the climate in Sargon is generally dry. Wood imported from minnows had to be specially treated to prevent them from cracking due to the dryness. The cross-section I saw showed signs of such treatment. You mean this was not Sarah's original harp, but a replica made by Sargonians using Minoan wood? You sure you're not overthinking it? I didn't want to believe it, but I just took the wood chips to a lab. Testing revealed the presence of Sargonian resin, dating back about 100 years. Oof. The harp looked perfect. It was virtually impossible to tell that it was a replica without destructive testing. I doubt Padishah Carey knew anything. I have to tell the astronomos, we can't give the Minoans a fake harp under the eyes of Karastara's statue. The exchange ceremony must be stopped.
Ambassador Medjehtiqedti's mission was to carry out the exchange ceremony.
Benui and Fundi.
We made an oath to the Padishah before we set out. How can you continue to call yourself the ambassador of Sargon if you fail to retrieve the engineering data from the constructions of the 3 poleys?
Yes, I have my duty as ambassador. As an archaeologist, however, I can't overlook such a mistake, much less intentionally participate in a lie.
That's why I say you have no political acumen. You see yourself as a museum curator, not a diplomatic envoy. The important thing about the relic exchange ceremony is not the relic, but the exchange. Who cares if the harp is a replica? It still makes a sound.
You want to offer up a fake harp at the ceremony? Absolutely not.
And what is your bright idea, Medjehtiqedti, without the authentic harp, and a ceremony right around the corner? In the halls of Medjehtiqedti, you told Padishah Carey that you loved the legends of Minos, and you wanted to see true heroism with your own eyes. Is your idea of heroism clinging to your obsessions and bringing shame to your country at the very first cultural exchange between Sargon and Minos since the establishment of diplomatic relations? Are you and your useless father one and the same? He ruined your family, turned the name Nasutu Masayer into a high society joke. In his obsession with literature, he abandoned his duties, even his duty to his daughter, forcing her to chase the shadows of heroes in books, failing to find any heroism in her father. Man. Remember when Ava said Benui was a nice guy?
This has nothing to do with him. I only love Minoan stories because...
As ambassador of Sargon, your priority is to carry out or emissaries of Sargon, same thing. Your priority is to carry out the exchange ceremony successfully, not our own obsessions and interests. Your words verbatim. I find a way before the ceremony, no matter what it takes. I cannot let a... Obstinate fool. Very well. You can meditate while I act on your behalf and carry out the duty that the Sargonian ambassador was supposed to perform. It's not as if changes anything. To the astronomos and the guest, you're nothing more than a curious girl. Enthusiastic volunteer for the temple project, while I negotiated with the astronomos. I am, for all due intents and purposes, the true ambassador of Sargon. Yeah, there's a bird and beast painted on that fence. Hello. Maybe you don't remember me, but I've visited this ranch quite a lot lately. The herder, Melita, knows me. Please stop leaning on the fence and let me through. Open sleepy eyes. They gave it a little hat. It was not my intention to interrupt your nap. Perhaps you will enjoy this grass. The dew is still fresh on it. I also brought some berries. Well, I'm out of bribes. In that case, would you like a dream interpretation? Kyrios, maybe Kyria? Brush his teeth on the fence. Cauliflower's a girl. Berries are too sweet for her, and the grass isn't filling enough. You need carrots to draw her attention. And Minos is full of all the bestial people, apparently. If you find a bird and beast has a fever and not even its favorite food can coax it to move, just scoop some water with a leaf and spray it on its horn to cool it down. You really know your bird and beasts, Melita. I didn't know there were so many tricks to getting a bird and beast to move. Of course. They're not like beck beasts, which are used to taking commands. A herder needs 100 tricks to coax bird and beasts into doing what you need them to do. It's this understanding that builds a bond between bird and beast and herder. Am I right, Cauliflower? Sways his tail. Gets up and leaves. Maybe it's a talent to know one more way to get bird and beasts to move than other herders. Thanks for getting Cauliflower to move, Melita. No problem. The priests of Endymion Temple gracing us with her presence means that this place is blessed by heroes. We couldn't be happier. As long as it doesn't cause you any trouble. Of course not. All you do is admire the sights and look at the fence. A little while back, I was concerned that a fowl could slip through the cracks in the fences. A few days later, you filled the gaps with strong threads. Just doing my part. It was a very kind deed. I won't disturb you anymore. I have a few hooves to trim. You think her golden apple is related to, Myrtle's golden apple? Cassandra leans towards the filled fence, where delicate threads stand in regular intervals gleaming in the sun.
She plucks one of the threads, hearing nothing except the breeze blow over the pasture.
Of course it wouldn't make a sound. Not even a burden beast running into it did. There isn't much time. When will you sing again?
I know what you're here for, Kyrios Benwi. Rest assured that the relationship between our two nations is at the highest priority. A little incident will not be allowed to affect it. A little incident? Xanthos came to Athenius 5 years ago. Working as a ferryman and manager of the crossing, he took in an apprentice, Lycaon, former priest school student. They are accused of attempting to steal from the room of Ambassador Medjehtiqedti. They are being held in custody, pending trial in accordance with the law. Since the ambassador has elected not to press charges,
A justification to comfort the ignorant people by a naive girl moonlighting as supervisor of the rebuilding of the first temple, not the decision of the honored ambassador of Sargon.
I see your views differ from Kyria Messier's. I will, of course, take full responsibility for this matter as Astronomos. However, I would ask the two of you come to an agreement as to how we will deal with it.
You know what I mean, Astronomos. My view is that of the Sargonian delegation. This tragedy, the theft and destruction of the harp, would never have happened if the exchange ceremony was not repeatedly delayed. I have a reason to suspect that you have intentions other than promoting the relationship between our two nations. That you have intentionally delayed the ceremony, and everything that took place did so on your orders. I hear the position of Astronomos was newly created following the administrative reforms of Athenius, and you were rewarded with the role because of your contributions to said reforms. If something goes wrong with the first cultural exchange between our two nations since the establishment of diplomatic relations, then I congratulate you on being the only Astronomos who the people of Athenius will never forget.
The exchange ceremony is certainly my most important task. I admit I was negligent for not arriving at the scene promptly due to a busy schedule. In that case, how would you define this incident, this theft and destruction of the harp?
The brutal, barbaric, ignorant, baseless hatred of the perpetrators, the robbery and destruction of this symbol of friendship between Sargon and Minos was a most despicable act. In my 30 years overseeing culture in Medjehtiqedti, Sargon has received many letters from Minos requesting the return of its cultural artifacts that were removed during the occupation. Shouldn't these plunderers of Mino's national treasure be severely punished if you Minoans truly value it so much?
They will be tried according to Minoan law. As far as the punishment is concerned, though,
I have no intention of leaving the impression that Sargon is trying to bully the people of Athenius. We are emissaries of peace, after all. This is the most sensitive time, however. Just because Sargon and Minos signed a truce 5 years ago doesn't mean that all is peaceful and well. The Padishahs are used to solving our problems with a force of arms. I would not give them a reason to get angry if I were you.
Xanthos and Lycaon conspire to steal and deface a national treasure and sabotage the exchange ceremony.
Their actions are tantamount to treason. I mean, it depends on if that's treason in this country. I mean... They will be put on death row immediately. Thank you, Astronymos. I look forward to the exchange ceremony in a few days. You're really gonna let him bully you like this, Lydia? Like... It's your harp. It's not even their harp. If it was their harp and they were demanding punishment, that would make sense. Get in. Can't wait to see which of these NPCs will become playable 6 years from now. I think at the very least... I don't remember their name. They only showed up like one time. But the representative from the other city. Hecademon's the guy, I think. Lacedaemon? Something like that. What's going on? It's not normal to transfer prisoners so suddenly before we're officially sentenced. A lot of bestial people. I like this. There was a severe drought for a very long time. I'm just following orders. Move quietly and behave yourselves. Maybe there'll be a chance for clemency.
You really believe the Sargonian ambassador would protect the Minoans who tried to steal the harp?
You heard what she said to the officer. It would have been easiest to make the accusations while everyone was watching, but she didn't do it.
You can never tell what someone is thinking. Submit an official assessment of the damage. Put pressure on the Astronomos and peace officers. There are many things that the Sargonian delegate can do. Death row, huh? We're getting the royal treatment. You should regret it, Lycaon. Destroying Hotel Kitchen is nothing compared to the charges we face now.
All the more reason we had to take what's ours back from the bandits. The harp of Caraceres sings only for the stories of heroes. It will not and must not sing for a false peace. I know your past, Master Xanthos. I may not have experienced war for myself, but I respect your decision. I couldn't let you risk everything by yourself, having known about your plan. You saved my life 2 years ago.
It was your classmate from priest school, Ecodemos, who carried you down from the archery range after you were injured by an Orangenium shard. I just took in a former student who wasn't willing to continue in the priesthood. That's all.
An infected can never become a priest. It's divine work, communing with the heroes and guiding the way for the people. I couldn't do it. As for Nicodemos, all he wants is someone to bait him.
Do not fool yourself, Lycaon. It will only make the pain worse when your family have to face it. Or finally, not your family, when you finally have to face it.
Master Xanthos?
My friend brought technology from the Mech cities when he came to my homeland after receiving divine revelation. He built a village in the barren swamps with us. The people in the village respect him a lot, but he's always had a dark look on his face, late at night. I lied to myself in trying to convince him, but the river in his dreams wasn't red with blood. It was red because of iron the river brought from upstream, and that revelation was supposed to bring him to us.
But he didn't believe it.
He was prepared to go to war from the beginning. I was fooling myself.
River! Young people these days are foolish enough to fight the Sargonians to death because of a dream like that? And the two of you are here because you stole things from the Sargonians?
The harp of Karasera belongs to the Minoans.
Even less worth it. What truly belongs to the Minoans these days, after the Sargonians invaded 100 years ago?
Do be careful, everyone.
Fear not! Here I come!
Easy does it.
Wooden burden beast of Ilion. Cannot be blocked, carries up to 5 passengers, with each additional passenger reducing its movement speed. Oh my gosh.
Everything is under control.
Oop, I wasn't paying attention. Looked away for 1 second. I need a summoner. Okay.
Cleaning, conservation, preparing, restoration.
I have a visual.
Cleaning, conservation, preparing.
Oh yeah, they can be blocked.
restoration.
Huh. Crazy.
This is awkward, but no new ceramic artifacts coming in. Not much for me to do then.
I mean, it doesn't look like there's any ribbons going on in her skill animation.
Sky shattering.
Standing by.
Uh-oh.
Evacuate immediately. Repeat, evacuate immediately.
What are they weak to? Resistance. I mean, yeah, they have a lot of HP. That's more the reason why.
Green light confirmed.
Here I come!
Easy does it.
What do I want to do about those guys?
Everything is under control.
Okay, this is awkward, but I'm the only one who knows how to handle the chaos I created. I knew you'd come first, guys! Shattering! Cleaning, conservation, repair.
I'll charge the weak space me!
The guy's not even driving the scooter. He's just on the front of it. What is what is happening? Oh my god, they're so slow.
If I will flee, it's no use! Standing by.
Great mind as ice yields to gentle warmth's embrace.
That all you got? Doctor, leave the big guys to relax. It'll be over in an instant.
Mission accomplished.
Hey, you're the one who invited me. Say something. I skipped the banquet celebrating the completion of the first temple for you, you know. You were a big part of getting the work across the finish line the day before the exchange ceremony. Tradition calls for a full day of celebration. The craftsmen began drinking and reciting poetry in broad daylight.
Not all of them can hold their drink well. Guess the peace officers will have their hands full tonight.
Gandia from the moving crew, right? She's really taken to you after you helped her a few times.
Yes. It's been like a dream coming to Athenius.
Right you are. First day in Athenius, you saw the dispute between the fruit farmers and the craftsmen. Then you became the supervisor of the final phase of the temple rebuilding project.
I thought she lost. Did she become supervisor? What even happened during that?
And you chased Xanthos over multiple blocks after the harp was stolen. Way more interesting than just escorting a relic, isn't it?
Yes. My job was to ensure that the exchange ceremony goes smoothly and promote a friendship between our two nations.
What's the matter, TT? This isn't like you.
Alice, the harp of Caracera we brought, it is a replica.
What?
I would never have known if the harp wasn't damaged during my scuffle with Xanthos. And now my deputy, Benue, wants to fulfill the Palisades mission by handing over the fake harp in an exchange ceremony. But I know that's not right.
The ceremony is tomorrow. Do you have a solution? There's no good way to do this. We'd need a miracle. I read through every relevant book I could borrow on the Bibliotheca of Athenius. I learned that the harp of Caracera was lost to a war a long time ago and hasn't been seen since. It is like the Sargonian craftsmen who made this replica only seen the blueprints and not the harp itself. Could the true harp still be in Minos, or was it destroyed by the fires of war long ago? I'm sorry. There's no need for you to apologize. What do you plan to do if the true harp is nowhere to be found? I can't publicly announce in my capacity as Sargonian ambassador that we brought a fake harp. It's more likely to lead to a conflict than reveal the truth. A very reasonable concern. And so, I will have to stop the ceremony in my personal capacity. What do you mean? I am getting rid of the fake harp before the ceremony can start.
Storm is brewing. You can't go in. Look, I know a special visitor's permit is required to visit and deliver supplies. I just forgot. Can you accommodate me just this once? My old classmate went in a couple days ago all of a sudden. His family asked me to bring him some stuff. Alright, to tell you the truth, he's pretty sick. He's staying in jail as a doctor in basic medicine, but it's not as effective as the Rhode Island stuff. He could have an attack while in custody if he doesn't get proper treatment. Save your breath, it's no use. Alright, I didn't want to do this. Here's my pass, Sacademos Grammateus to the Astronomos. I am authorized to enter detention facilities, even bring in suspects for questioning. Open the door, this is an order. I will file the necessary paperwork later. You want to see the two thieves who came in a few days ago? Lycaon is not a... What? Never mind. Yes. You can't. What? Why not? You are authorized to see prisoners held in jail, but the two you're looking for aren't here anymore. Were they transferred? That's unusual. Has Kyria Athopoulos' neuropathy treatment system been implemented already? Where were they transferred? Don't bother, Academos. I don't know who they are to you, but not even the Grammateus of the Astronomos is authorized to see inmates on death row. Death row? And another one. Sorry, Kyratha Othopolo.
Does Lydia, does the Astronomos really not have the time? I heard that Xanthos and his apprentice were arrested for theft. They are my patients and in a key stage of treatment as the Rhode Island Clinic already reported. Xanthos' blood oranginium crystal density is particularly high, which could potentially lead to an acute attack of oropathy. I'd like to deliver medicine to them.
Look, I don't understand any of the medical jargon you're throwing around. We are all very grateful to you for returning Athenius, bringing back medical knowledge that you learned abroad and establishing a oropathy clinic, but I shouldn't talk too much. But you're a good doctor, and the Astronomos' sister. You really should keep your distance from her for a few days at least. It's if only for the sake of your relationship.
Why?
The official line says the crime was theft, but the Sargonian ambassador came here a few days ago and said the thing that was stolen wasn't the ambassador's personal item, but an important relic for the exchange ceremony. He put a lot of pressure on Lydia. They're probably going to be publicly charged with treason once the ceremony's over.
Treason? But according to Minoan law...
Most of the issues the Astronomos faces cannot be solved through legal procedures. She wants some new, modern Minos, and she's willing to give everything for it. That's why we're willing to work for her. Perhaps you're not aware, but she gave up her family inheritance, even chasing her other family out of Athenias after taking office.
She gave up her inheritance. I thought the business failed.
This exchange of relics is an important part of her administration. There must be no mistake, at least not on the surface. Even if it means sacrificing 2 lives, it's not like they're innocent after all. I'm sorry I had to go back to work.
What is Lydia? Well, she wouldn't meet with me. I doubt I can convince her, even if we did meet. But Xanthos and Lycaon need to be tried fairly. I can't let Lydia make a mistake like this. What do I do?
Yeah, really, if you just let the Sargonians boss you around, you're saying that they have the ability to do that and, like, legal precedence over your justice system? Sorry, I thought I was lost in Gyria at the polo.
You've been staring out the window, Astronomos.
Apologies, Hyrea Cassandra.
Why not let Kyria Athapolo in? I had to discuss the establishment of an oropathy treatment system with her anyway.
Oh, I thought you wanted to get extra help to plead the case of the 2 infected who were arrested a few days ago. You know that ferryman Xanthos quite well. I believe you were the one who found him the job at the crossing.
The peace officers will deal with this theft. Neither of us need to worry about it.
I'm afraid I don't have that luxury. If this incident affects the trust between us and Sargon, then the incident will become more than a simple theft.
What?
It's my own business. It has nothing to do with the priestesses of... or with the priestess of Endymion Timble. Back on topic here, Cassandra, the opening play for tomorrow's exchange ceremony has been decided. It is to be King Perseus, a popular classic across Terra. All the priests need to attend. There will be no need for complicated rituals.
A few weeks ago, I came to discuss the priest-directed ceremonial play for the completion of Cassera's first temple. I have not seen you at the Astronomos' office since.
I apologize. My schedule is a busy one. And I certainly remember. The exchange ceremony will also require an opening play, and we can kill 2 foul beasts with 1 stone this way. No need to bother the priests, however.
Excuse me, but the rebuilding of Caracera's first temple is a symbol of the people's spirit. Now that it is complete, tradition calls for a proper ceremony to invite the heroes to enter the temple and give Minos their blessings. The council is not trying to usurp your administrative power, and the exchange ceremony does not fall within your responsibility. Or it does fall. However, Minoan drama began as a ritualistic performance. Every single detail is carefully arranged, and the props to the program to the performers. It's not enough to simply put on a popular play.
Immortal legend, witness of the oracle, heroic relic. Do not think that I am completely ignorant of traditional ceremony, or that I'm one of those radicals who calls for every tradition to be abolished.
But even if you have your choice of the program and control over the troop, there is still something missing from the traditional ritual that you want, isn't there? The Sargonian mission brought Karasera's harp. Oh, you do recognize the relic's ritual significance? What do you mean? I'm neither an archaeologist nor a historian. As Astronomos, however, I understand every priest who sits on the council, including you. You are the head priestess of Endymion Temple, and endowed with the divine gift of speaking on behalf of the heroes. Your knowledge of the heroic epics puts most scholars to shame. Yet you showed no interest about the harp of Karasera that the Sargonian mission brought with them. You didn't even ask to see it. I don't know why exactly, but I can tell that the harp of the Sargonian mission brought was not the heroic relic that you knew. The ceremonial play could not have been performed to begin with. No, I have nothing against the council here, Cassandra. If you present a legitimate heroic relic for the ceremony, I would be more than happy to give you the choice of play back to you. For the past century, however, the temples have mostly used crude replicas in the place of true relics for your ceremonies. I don't need to tell you that the link between us and the heroes is weakening. As for a modern stage, Menos can no longer rely on ancient legends to unite our people's spirit. No need to worry, however. The temples and priests will continue to exist. You can continue to contribute to historical research and tourism.
Everybody good? We've got another battle waiting for us. Pump yourselves up. We're gonna crush this mission together.
So they already know it's fake. Which I guess is maybe why Lydia's more willing to like go along with it. Because Lydia just wants to gain more power. So. Like the one cleric said, killing two people is quote unquote not a big deal. Kind of a big deal actually though. But looks like we're gonna get through 4 today. Poem of Remembrance. Legends covered in dust. The past unforgotten. Poems that linger in your ears. Okay, now let's switch to skill 3.
Okay, everyone have a look at the plan. It's different from yesterday's? Well, I just now got a new idea. So, any issues?
Keep it as the team as it is. We'll probably be careful with the multiple unblockables, though.
It's getting late, Palace. We should split up and make our own preparations. Are you really sure about this, TT? Yes, ever since Benui learned the harp was fake, he had it under guard by our retinue. He's not letting me get anywhere near it. He's definitely going to post more guards tonight so nothing unexpected happens. But it'll be a different story tomorrow when the exchange ceremony takes place. You'll have to leave it exposed in public, which is where we'll find our chance. Right. What comes next? Next? The Sargonian government will probably give a formal apology about the whole affair and send more diplomats to discuss things with the Astronomos in private. On the outside, it will look like Sargonian mission taking a Minoan national treasure and fleeing, but the people in charge of both nations will know that all they lost was a fake. That's not what my question was about, TT. I want to know what happened to you. Me? I will take the fake harp and Mio and leave via the ancient route. Can't go back to Medjehtiqedti. Padishah Kerry's guard would definitely chase me across the entire city. If I really do get caught, then it doesn't matter. If it's by Benui or Padishah Kerry, neither one would most likely eliminate any inconvenient evidence. Then push the blame on Minos. I'll have to keep running. Only then would Sargon's lofty nobles not dare to look deeply into this burglary without authorization. What I carry away with me is not just a fake art, but the truth as well. TT, look, no trying to talk me out of it. I'm all for better ideas, believe me. I don't want to carry a big heavy harp around Terra either.
But what about the museum?
Go home, Palace. Let me be alone for a while. I will see you tomorrow morning. Fine.
TT leans against the back of a seat in the plaza and looks up. The night sky is always perfectly clear in Minos, the great boon to stargazers. It is this heavenly advantage that caused the ancient Minoans to associate their heroes with the positions of the stars. When she was young, TT's father would look up at the stars and tell her the stories of these heroes. Some you can find in the history books. As for those with no source, perhaps they were simply cooked up by her underachieving bookworm of a father. Though illness took him from this land prematurely, TT still remembers clearly every story he told her. Within those tales of Minos, will she find one of an exiled hero carrying a fake harp? Countless stars sparkle silently in the dark sky. TT does not find her answer. It's late. I clocked out a long time ago. Whatever it is, it can wait until my shift tomorrow. It is I, Grammateus. Cassandra.
Forgive me. I know you are resting at the moment.
May I ask why you've deigned to visit me in the middle of the night?
I wish to know if the Astronomos has told you about anything regarding the theft involving Master Xanthos and his apprentice. I had called upon the Astronomos' office earlier to discuss the ceremonial play with her. And when I mentioned the case from a few days ago, she became evasive.
The Astronomos most likely has her own concerns. It's the exchange ceremony tomorrow, after all. She not only has to deal with the entire process, but also the Sargonian delegation.
Therein lies my worry. If the delegation were to ask for the case to be re-examined in the name of bilateral trust, as the Astronomos is in charge of diplomacy, Lydia could hardly refuse. I could tell she was a little tense while we were talking, and her side desk had piles of unknown law codices and incident investigation reports. She most likely is already having her hands twisted by the envoy. This means the charges against Xanthos and his apprentice will only become more severe and... If it were not for your schoolmate's oropathy nearing a crisis point, I would not believe there would be a Volpo tail behind your sofa's armrest.
Why is she hiding?
We finally meet Lena Athopolo, head of the Rhodes Island branch office. Yes, Cassandra.
Yes, us. Just a hello, just a formal hello. Also, apparently, yeah is ya, so it's just ya sauce. Xanathos and Lycan are her patients. She simply wished to give them her medicine while they are jailed, so she came to me for help.
Come to you for help? If this were an ordinary jailing, she would have no difficulty sending medicine to convicts, if she so wished. It seems my conjectures were not too far off from the mark. Lydia really is going to punish those two heavily to satisfy Sargon's demands. They have most likely already been moved to death row.
I never thought Hera Cassandra, dream interpreter of Endymion Temple, would be so skilled in reasoning.
You should know, Hecademos, that not even the Astronomos' Grammatius can visit prisoners on death row, unless you entertain some very dangerous ideas, such as a jailbreak.
We've done a few of those before. I can have Lycaon and his master dying in... I can't have Lycaon and his master dying in prison from an oropathy attack. They might have done wrong, but the punishment is too severe. You have not visited me tonight, Cassandra, and do not know about the sentencing on this case. Could I ask you to help us keep things discreet? If all the heroes are up in the sky watching us, they should not sit idly by and allow something so ridiculous to happen.
Are you doing this to save lives as well, Lena? I am. I want to save my patients and save my sister. I understand she has her ambitions as Astronomos, but she has her burdens. She has burdens to bear too, and she cannot keep making mistakes.
The eyes of the people will be on the exchange ceremony tomorrow. I've already obtained the prison blueprints through personal connections, and I have a route. So long as we get them out, even if it's just a jab on an emergency inhibitor into them, it'll be worth it.
The route is not enough. You need someone to buy you time at both the Astronomos' office and the prison. I'll go find Lydia. As for the prison, I can help you.
Man, I didn't expect this event to have a jailbreak. It's really common, actually. It's a really common occurrence in Arknights.
Kyrios, you said that nothing truly belongs to the Minoans. But how can that be?
The bird and beast we heard. You have seen them before. The scarves and the veil drapes on their heads. We used to control what they see. Are they not Sargonian invention?
I'm afraid you are off on the symbology of those scarves. Those are actually...
Don't try to give me something like the subtle reference to the scarves the Sargonians forced us to wear during the occupation. What difference is there between ridicule and praise? Are they not both marks they have left on Minoan culture?
I fail to see how you can conflate the two.
Still being stubborn, are you? Then let us speak of the ground beneath our feet. More than 100 years ago, Minos spread its roots, drinking deep of this paradise of rivers, but now, Padishah Mala, queen of the far shore, gathered the engineers of Sargon and Minos, alongside countless laborers, moving 3 poles atop steel tracks. Athenius is far, far away from its former resting place.
That is obviously sophistry. Even the Sargonians had not come, we would have eventually moved our cities onto nomadic plates ourselves. It's the inevitable march of technology.
Yes, well said. Have you spent time at the Theros temple, boy? However, there is one point you have overlooked. The very language you are using in this debate right now is mixed. The old tongue of Minos was eroded away during the occupation. The modern Minoan language the priests work so hard to dissemble. How many words do you think were taken from the nation you so hate?
You.
Enough.
Fun little detail, okay. It makes sense that they'd have a lot of Sargonian loanwords.
You do not understand the man's meaning, Lygaon. There is no removing the scars of war. A truce does not mean everything is in the past. We can no longer fight for the Minos in our hearts, for it no longer exists.
You with the helmet. You're actually somewhat interesting.
Judging by your age, you could not have experienced the occupation yourself, but your words reveal a deep understanding of the period.
Do not waste precious time guessing at the history of strangers. I'm just a tramp who doesn't care if he dies in the streets or in prison. I once had a decent son, but he was stolen away by his dreams.
Dreams.
One morning 9 years ago, he ran out of his room, shaking me out of my hangover, telling me he had a dream of a river, and that he should set off. A river running red with blood. I did not have to visit the priests of Endymion to understand its meaning. That boy was not trying to get away from me, and he was thirsting for battle. He forgot what our ancestors had experienced, and forgot why his father is a useless drunken gambler.
Divine revelation. A river red with blood.
You're
Ithacos' father.
What a coincidence. I thought he was a vision of a hero, actually. Because I was like, why is this old guy in death row? So the question remains, why is this old guy in death row?
TD, why are you back so late? I thought you were busy fleeing from justice. We might actually have to flee from justice, Mio. We? What? You spent all that time walking about to come up with this brilliant plan, and you want me to suffer alongside you? Take the harp far away, and place all the wrongs on the one person's theft. That's the best way to resolve this I can think of. That certainly is not the best way. But it's definitely the most Medjehtiqedti way. Huh? 3 weeks ago, when a delegation left Sargon, you said you wanted to experience the route Sarah took when going to Athenius for the first time. So you followed the ancient route, and even though it was a massive pain, you could see Benway's guards talking shit about you, but you didn't want to make a scene, and you were worried they wouldn't treat the relic right, so you took that big heavy harp with you, by yourself. And there was that time a few months ago in Medjehtiqedti, when you were helping that Pepe girl out of a bind. You went and poured an entire jug of wine all over yourself. We both know you spent a long time gambling to me about, or grumbling, not gambling, grumbling to me about that afterwards. Saying stuff like how the curator's salary isn't enough for all that dry cleaning. But you didn't blame Pepe. After all, you believe this is what friends should do for each other. If all your best ideas keep ending up with you taking on the burden yourself, then you should just quit already. What's so funny, huh? Nothing. It's just that, after hearing your words, I'm even more convinced I'm doing the right thing. Like how Xanthos and Lycaon did not wish for a relic that is rightfully Minos to be used as a diplomatic bargaining chip, so they stole it, bearing all the consequences. I might not understand their true intents, but I believe their ideas are worthy of being recorded in the Tales of Heroes. Right now, I am just a copycat. I don't dare assume I understand what makes someone a hero, but I want to write my own tale. Even if I can't be considered a real hero, even if the protagonists of this story can only run away.
I never expected you to come to such a realization, Kyria Masayer.
Cassandra?
She gets around.
Do not blame yourself, Xanthos. Do not blame Xanthos and his apprentice, who attempted to steal the harp. Do you not blame them? If it were not for their meddling, your cultural exchange would have gone smoothly, even if what you have is but a fake. How could I blame them? I have a feeling when we tried to seize the initiative to pressure the Astronomos into handing down an unjust sentence, but it's those two who reveal the truth. If I can shift the focus of the issue onto myself by sealing the fake and free both Xanthos and Lycaon, then it will all be worth it. Oh wait, how did you know the harp the Sargonian delegation brought is a replica? Please come with me, Kyria Massayer.
Need some lighting? All good. This light on my
Heroic
head will
Ideal,
illuminate the
unaffected by Immerse. Dodges
As long as it
physical and
doesn't die out.
arts damage from
I don't
non-immersed
think it will.
units.
Probably.
Oh god. Oh god. I'm getting flashbacks. Flashbacks to Zererza.
I'll take the lead. The rest is up to you guys.
Easy does it. I won't be afraid. Just relax and leave it to me.
Comedic Poet. Draws and absorbs HP from fountains when summoning a heroic ideal. Oh snap. Uh-oh.
Okay, this is awkward, but I'm the only one who knows how to handle the chaos I created. My goodness, ridiculous! I will see it's no use! Remove the mold, restoring the flexibility of the fabric. That's by staying calm, my friend. Apple pie with yourself!
Mission accomplished.
That skill probably works better with other people who can attack them. Second one was good on its own. You sure about leaving the village?
I'll be off at first light tomorrow. The fields have already been replowed. There's plenty of seeds and grain. And the storehouses are also been fixed. As for the ferrying, I've taught a few of the young ones. Don't worry.
I'm worried about you, Xanthos. You've never left the marsh before, and now you want to run off into the distance all to find a stranger?
Medjehtiqedti is my brother. He's helped us all out before.
It's been an entire year. Maybe he's already headed back to Athenius. That's where he comes from, if it makes sense.
The things he agreed to do, he will do. Once the war is over, he will return. He promised me.
Have you ever considered if he's already... He went off to fight the Sargonians.
And I shall avenge him. I shall avenge the Minoans.
The northern mountains of Minos. Hey, don't get so worked up. You've got the wrong guy. I'm really not your Ithacos or whatever it was.
The one getting worked up is you, friend. I merely recognize the armor you wear. It belongs to Ithacus, my brother. Before he left, every family in our village donated leather and iron for it. I was the one who made that set of armor presentable, and forged him his weapon.
Forgive me, I've been battling for so long now, big battles, small ones, and it's been a long time since I had I need some proper sleep. My mind's...
Here, there's some calming herbal tea in the pot. Can you tell me how you got this armor?
Another Guerrilla friend. We ran into a skirmish. He took an arrow. Before he died, he gave it to me. But his name wasn't Ithacus, or Ithacos.
Oh.
You see all these marks on the armor? Must have passed through a lot of hands to get that many. You might not know this, but we guerrillas aren't like the Sargonian army. We're not well supplied. Everyone gathers up our weapons and armor and food, and which given out depending on the mission's priority. I can tell you that fallen guerrilla's unit number, and that'll get you where you need to be. Oh right, let me give you the armor back first.
Keep it. It's still of use to you. Just telling me the way is enough, friend.
If you insist, but are you sure you want to search the mountains? These mountains are our stomping grounds, and where we battle the Sargonians.
Then I'll join you.
You've never seen a battlefield before? Drake said.
Before this, I'd only ever held oars and farm tools. But we have no other choice, do we?
Sorry, I don't really remember that smiling long-haired Forda you mentioned. As for these boots, I got them given when I joined the guerrillas. According to the friend who gave them to me, they belonged to a middle-aged guy who was missing a chunk of his left horn.
There's a hole in them.
Sorry, they're a little small for me and I haven't had the time to mend them. The Sargonians have been chasing us this entire time. If you hadn't shown up to support us in the nick of time.
Sit down.
Huh?
I'll help you mend them.
Nasaikala. Wow, you've got big hands, but they're nimble. How long have you been one of us? Nasaikala is... Of course, thank you.
4 months I came here to find someone at first. Keep the boots. Fighting, marching, hiding, reorganizing. You bleed, you die, or you wipe your sword and you jump into the next battle. Days like these are long ones. Where is the man who gave you these boots? Just point me the way, friend.
I knew this letter carved on the corner of this shield meant something. You were saying it's short for Ithacos, and you carved it? Nods. So you've spent half a year wandering the battlefields, trying. You're staying with pretty much every one of our bands just to find this guy.
Seems you don't have much you can tell me either.
Sorry, Xanthos. Also, I don't plan on giving that shield back to you. Look at just how many blade marks there are on it, and these black marks, Sargonian arts can barely make a dent in it. I need to keep it. It'll help protect me and more of our friends. Maybe even keep me alive long enough to go home one day.
If that is the case, then I couldn't be happier. Let the name Ithacos stay by our side. Let our blood, our eyes be witness to our victory.
This is where we part, my friend.
Just point me the way, that is all I ask. Try changing hands. Ithacos is left-handed, but I kept in mind when I made the arts unit for him.
I knew it. I knew something felt off about the power levels. It's already been a whole year, Xanthos.
Time flies as swift as a melted river.
You've already the most famous gorilla in the mountains. You've fought the most fights, walked the most battlefields, everyone sings of your heroism. Are you really going to keep searching for your brother?
I have no reason to stop. Like how you will not turn and leave the battlefield.
Ah, you're right.
Your accent. You're from Lacedaemon.
I sure am. Well, more specifically, my hometown is on the route of the Mac City follows. It's a river valley. Absolutely beautiful in spring.
I've just told you about my hometown, the village Ithacos and I founded together. You should tell me more about yours. We have been losing this war for over 100 years. We do not know how it will end. We should remember each other's hometowns. We should remember each other.
Well, I'll be more than happy to, my friend.
I'll continue my search tomorrow. Just point me the way, friend.
You must be suffering the indignity of being tied to this tree, Minoan.
Like I said, answer my question.
Ithacos, Ithacos, Ithacos! Always about Ithacos! Fine, fine, those fake. I've had enough. Those fake, screw you. 2 years ago, my troops met them with Minoan guerrillas near here. We were escorting some wounded. I remember their ensign. Matches the unit you mentioned. We wiped them out. That Ithacos you keep talking about should have been one of them. You happy now? You seriously set up an ambush for the sake of a battle 2 years ago? So you could capture me and have your revenge? You're mad, Minoan, an absolute lunatic.
You might not believe me, but this is all just a coincidence. Before today, I was not thinking of finding Ithacos, or killing his enemies. This battle is no different to the ones of the past year. No, the past century. You invade land that doesn't belong to you, Sargonian, and we have no choice but to defend our home. I have simply become accustomed to asking everyone I meet, have you seen Ithacos? Have you seen that smiling, long-haired Forta? He's from Athenius, but he has a South Country accent. Such a thing truly does mean I am, as you say, mad. I have found his armor, his boots, his shield, his arts unit, everything he left on behind this wooded mountain I have found him. I have never once thought you invaders would remember the name of every Minoan you met. Your Padishahs hardly care about what every line in your books of merit actually means, do they? That said, Ithacos, remember this name. It is our passion, our love, and your crime, your punishment. Now tell me, where was that battle exactly? Which of these furs was watered with the blood of Minos?
Xanthos looks up and sees countless Minoan firs standing tall. The wind blows and the entire forest rustles. This land, these woods, they remember many things, but they do not speak. His brother, his friend, the youth who followed his revelation and left home, he died here, somewhere, everywhere. Ithacos, countless Ithacoses have left not even bones, all for the sake of the land beneath their feet. Xanthos lifts a giant oar in his hand. After an entire year, he has forgotten the river's burble. Now all that can wet is the blood of his enemy.
Did you avenge Ithacos?
No. Just as I was about to smash in the head of that Sargonian with my weapon, my friends taught me, while the bugles cried out.
You never told me the campaign you experienced was...
The final battle before Minos and Sargon signed a ceasefire. Minos, which had lost for 100 years, had finally won. A friend of mine desperately held back my hand. He had a broken leg, yet he could still bring such strength to bear to rein me in. I turned and I saw his face full of tears, his eyes full of fear, not towards the Sargonians, but towards me. I knew that he was afraid of. He was afraid I would destroy this hard-won peace. He was afraid I would bring about new conflict, that I would extend this cruel war. He was afraid he would become like Ithacos, forever unable to return home. My pent-up rage and grief had nowhere to go. All I could do was watch the Sargonian officer kneel on the ground, numbly listening to the bugles. The same numbness I felt. It was at that moment I knew the war will rage on in our bodies. It had begun and it could never end. You are right. The Minos in my heart no longer exists. It died on the battlefield many years ago, alongside the Ithacoses. But I will not allow the enemy to defile our land again, not even if they had built this city.
Not even if they had built this city. So even the textbooks say that nowadays.
What do you mean?
Ithacos sent you to our village. So went to your village so full of passion. Unlike me, he must have taught you many building techniques.
Indeed. He renovated nearly every important building in the village.
His techniques were passed down from his ancestors. During the occupation, my own grandfather was pressed into service with the Sargonians to build the nomadic cities, thanks to his mastery of engineering.
What?
The mobility layer of this Athenius might just be his handiwork.
Forgive me, I was far too rude to you earlier.
Do not bow your head for that, boy. I am not the engineer who built the nomadic cities. I don't have proof of how much our ancestors toiled building Athenius. All the data was taken away by the Sargonians. The Sargonians wanted the Minoan engineer's data, but why? An engineer's notes will always have something more than just jargon and modification blueprints. He had to keep track of the quantities of building materials, while coordinating transport and construction teams. So he was a meticulous planner of manpower and remembered the names of every worker. Not Sargonian workers, but the names of those from Minos, and where they came from and how the Sargonian forced them to do their bidding. Minoan workers. As I recall, current mainstream thinking is that Padishah Mala did not use any Minoan workers for heavy labor while the 3 poleis were being built. Do you mean to say, history was not written by us? Not even our final victory? But there is evidence of wrongdoing, evidence that there should be shared with the public. Do you remember where those engineer notes are? How should I know? Ask the Sargonians. But those Sargonians are probably dead by now. Oh.
Ask the Sargonians. The construction of the 3 poleis. No.
What is it, Master?
The Sargonian mission is not using the exchange to obtain technical data, but rather the notes detailing proof of the Sargonian sins.
So they can cover it up,
Target
I
down.
guess. I thought they were.
Mission clear.
I thought it was gonna be. Well, the Minoans actually built it, so the Sargonians are trying to actually learn how to build it themselves by stealing it, technically, or learn how to destroy it. I don't know. Either or, perhaps.
The doctor, is it? Lena said I would find you here. Give me an order if you need me to do something. Just don't put me together with any Sargonians. It's better for everyone that way.
Well, we have a lot of Sargonians working for us. What is this guy? A centurion? It's been a while. Never forgotten. When deployed, all Minos operators have their attack increased by 110% when attacking enemies with an HP percentage lower to or equal to their own. That's pretty nice. The next attack deals 135 attack as physical damage and attacks 3 times consecutively. Not bad. The Will of His People. Attacks deal 200% attack as physical damage and recovers 8% max HP. Any HP gain exceeding this unit's max HP is converted to a barrier up to 100% of max HP. It's pretty nice as well. Honestly, a solid little unit, it seems like. When this operator is assigned to the control center, collection speed increased by 5% for each Minos operator in the base. When assigned together with Sargonian operators, the morale lost +2. Casual racism. Yeah, honestly, nice little Centurion, I think. Yeah, I could put him on the team.
Ah, Doctor.
Maybe I should make a Minos team.
Yes.
I don't have
Some things never change.
that many Minos characters, though. I don't think so. There's not really that many in the first place. He has a reason to hate them. He does have a reason. I'm not blaming him. But doesn't make it a good thing. Oh, that's the wrong scene. Whabam. That's all for now. We'll finish this off tomorrow. No doubt. Only got 2 more levels and 2 interludes. I assume we're probably just gonna... I don't know. Who are we fighting? I don't know. We'll find out. I was like, I'd probably fight him, but maybe he'll actually be on our side now, so... We're gonna fight Binhui? I don't know. No boss. And a twist of events. Actually, there is no boss. Everyone lives happily ever after. Alright. Thank you all for watching. And until we meet again, may the sands of time treat you well.